been showing output throughout 2023, and were constant in terms of like the vision which we were trying to achieve through GYP. So yeah, right now I'm going to be handing over to Asela to giving us the welcoming remarks to just basically usher us into the new year as GYP, as Global Youth Parliament Botswana. Thank you, Asela.
Thank you, Honorable Gracie. I must admit that Gracie can have a halo governance. Alright, good morning everyone.
Good morning.
It's a great privilege for us to be in a fancy place like this, with serious people, great minds, that we are discussing what we are discussing today. Taking national decisions that will affect not just us or the people we represent, as in our families celebrating singing and Fuji and things, but it's a national decision that eventually I believe in a year or a year and a half it will be very much felt by every young person. And I want to start by saying 2023 has been an amazing year. We've witnessed progress, slow and steady, but I cannot refute that it was progress. We went out to people, we reached out to communities. I remember, allow me to call you Your Excellencies. I remember Your Excellency and the Honorable Member, they reached out with what I never knew existed in this country. And they reached out to people, to communities, to help them and to assist them. I remember myself and my team, we reached out to the community. I never understood their challenges in my entire life. And we engaged with them from the aspect of community development. And then we also had interesting developments in the organization, where we are setting up the structure, functionality of the organization, opening bank accounts, building the very organization we are talking about in terms of administrative work. And we had tireless people, being ourselves, committed to what we are doing. Of course, we did not achieve in as much as we wanted to achieve the launch of GYP. To some extent, I still thank God it did not happen, because right?
Yeah.
Still thank God it did not happen, and I believe God that when the time is right, the Bible says, when the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves. I just said that, but eventually, I believe that we are going there, and then our dream and our passion to what must be done will be. Comrades, let me take you to understand that in as much as we are here today, 6 of us, we are building an organization that is to affect the nation of Botswana, represent the youth of Botswana in various places and offices. And as a result, it is important for us to understand that our commitment to this institution and organization is of very much paramount importance, even to the person who does not even know that this institution exists. And therefore, it is with us, those who were there especially when the very organization started, and those who came along the way, for us to witness the growth of the institution, to ensure that it does not die. And therefore, it is important with us, those who are here, and those who will reach out from here, to also ensure that this organization stands. And that is through commitment, that is through work. It is important to have ideas, but having them to come into action, there's one extra point that is much more necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, let me acknowledge our efforts and what we have done so far. And let me also say there is a greater glory coming and awaiting for us. And therefore it is our part to go forward. And in conclusion, I want to say to us, I have learned through experience and leadership that greater numbers do not necessitate growth.
True.
Therefore, commitment of those who are already there is what makes growth visible. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, because he set the tone. You set the tone, honestly. Thank you, Asala, for your introduction, as well as your welcoming remarks. I think now we can also like you can formally introduce us as well to the USG, and then also give her the floor to also introduce herself to us as well, and what are like her hopes, expectations going forward, from UIP, as well as like what she wants to fulfill in this role that she's now.
You respect.
No, I don't.
All right. Thank you so much. I must share a bit of a story and say growth is growth is developmental, if that's a word in English language. It's a development thing. It's in phases, and we keep needing people in different phases. The story of Apple is a very good example of how this can be. And circumstances also come on the way. But when they come, they also make us make decisions that are very much necessary for growth. We had a very great SG, very amazing man. Very amazing man. But unfortunately, circumstances will not allow her to serve effectively as she wanted to, as she believed her standard of effectiveness to be. And then she said, I cannot allow the organization to suffer because I just want to cling to be called SG. I need the organization to go forth. And as a result, because I cannot, let us find someone who will be able to. I'm not saying I'm divorcing the organization. I'm just saying I am not functional in what is needed of me. It broke my heart. For 3 weeks, I didn't give her a response. I said, please wait. I tried to push her in, but she loved the organization way too much. But she didn't want to cost it of what it was necessary. And then I came to her and said, let me suggest to her, maybe you can I think I gave her 3 names of the people that we both knew, because I believed we needed someone with a political science and administration background like her. Someone who understood administration, especially in public administration. And at the same time, I felt like we needed someone not only who knows this thing from class, someone who can effectively apply it. We need a leader, because as you know, so we needed that kind of person. And then she picked this name, and this person is Monica Otabile. Monica is an excellent lady who graduated political science and public admin at the University of Botswana. We all wrote that first class. Thank you so much. I didn't give you a chance.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. You are tensed. Anyway, Dumela.
Hi.
As Asle has already alluded, Kenna Otabile, Tabile Gwali. Monica is my middle name. I'm very much honored, to be honest, honored, privileged to be a part of this beautiful organ. I can see great minds. I can see you are lively. So it gives me that thing, yeah, strength and confidence, and believing that I'll be working with very bright people who would take this organization, this global entity very far. So I'm very much honored. I believe that towards working with you would bring us a very critical advantage, not even to us only, but to the larger space that we'll be working with it. But I'm a very jolly person, so you'll get used to it.
when it comes to work. I do the work. I make sure that I deliver, and I see that you people are very much connected to this. Are very much are very much committed. So I really look forward to working with you guys and dispatching all the visions and missions and goals that we have, the ambitions to make this a very good organization, and the world looking at us at a very taking us to very great heights, holding us as a high regard. So ke a lebogela thata. Yes, I think that's all about this say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we look forward to working.
Alright, my name is Junior Lastly Junior. So I've been in the Ministry of Education. That's where I spent most of my time. So
it's different. So that kind of writing is not what you can write. And therefore, there are a lot of challenges. When we go into schools, we realize that there are challenges of discipline and so forth. But in as much as we have studied these things, we have not yet come up with activities to manage these challenges and solutions. To now go back to them and say, this is the solution. Boot camp in 3 weeks, in 3 months. Boot camp in 3 months. We thought about it. It was a nice idea. We loved it, but the resources to do it were not there. And a lot of these solutions they need us. We engage with organizations like the home base for the disabled, and then we realize that resources are a challenge in this country, and as a result we had to go back and find solutions. And then that's when I left the ministry to join presidency, when one person broke our hearts. People are breaking hearts. She was already heartbroken.
She was shattered in pieces.
Miss meat.
Meat.
And then she also, I think it's the same case with Gift. And then with presidency, my first argument was that I think we are not structured well. I think we have to restructure. And unfortunately, I now felt what she was feeling. These guys don't want to do this thing, but they just don't want to leave. And then Gracie said, no, let's ignore those people and move on. Those who want to will come. And then that's when I joined hands with Gracie, and then I started with creating a group separate from everyone else, because I felt like it's draining, right? We called the SG, called Gracie. We tried to get VP for a month and a half. He was in the group, ne?
I know.
We tried to get him to join the group.
Yeah.
So where's he now? So it was a challenge, and then eventually he said, let us just move on. She advised that we need to move on regardless, or else we are going to find ourselves waiting for people who are never going to come to us.
Absolutely.
Right, and then we did that. We hired a new SG upon the departure of that one. We also are here now to discuss the way forward to build the organization. I remember we were discussing probably we should consider our parliament should be separate from the organization. We cannot run the organization and be ministers at the same time. It's going to be hard. And now here we are. That's what I've been about my team. The ministry. And this is our former president who broke our hearts.
Thank you, Asele. I'm just happy to reconnect with you. I don't remember the last time we met in person like this. I think it was last year, eh? February. January. When you were not there, right?
Yeah.
It was February, January. Somewhere there. Yeah.
And ke tsela ngwaga no simolola.
No, similar. Okay, let me start by reintroducing myself. My name is Lesego Monica. Welcome here. You know, we are happy to see someone seeing value in this thing that we call GYP. I'm the former president and also chairperson of the organization. And I don't know where to start. There's a lot of stories to tell. But I'm just happy right now, you know, to see these 1, 2, 3 people, even her, even though she came a little bit late. These people that you see here, I think if there's anyone who deserves an award here, it's them, you know, because we started together. They saw where we came from. They've seen all the seasons, all the faces, everything. They know that this thing, for it to be where we are right now, bank accounts at the moment, we've even won international awards within 1 year of existence. You know, they know that it didn't come easy. They know the struggles, they know all the challenges that we went through, but they're still here, and they still believe in the vision. And I feel like it's people like that who are needed in building things. People who don't see, who see beyond the current circumstances. Because throughout our faces, we've had people who, some came for different reasons. Some maybe were fascinated by the idea of parliament. Okay, parliament, we'll be going to the parliament. There was this ideal thing of a parliament that maybe you're a minister, you'll be having cars, maybe picking people. I think that's what people envision, you know. We'll be wearing suits and looking all good, getting paid some allowances. I think that's what people envision. They didn't think of us building something from scratch. But these guys, just from from zero, when we had zero resources, they were there. You know, they were there. For it to be registered, it's that money. It's the money that each and everyone contributed. Some projects that up to this day are existent, like hers, Amber project, they started like that. You know, people, Pukolekiwa and all that. The bank account, same thing, compromising. And it's people like this that we need, because that the reason why the foundation, even though we've had seasons changing like that, they remained, they saw the vision beyond what everyone else who was coming and leaving saw. So it would be not good for me to just say I did everything on my own. It's them. You know, sometimes when I thought of leaving, many times, they gave me that. I remember there's a time when I had, I don't know how many resignations in a week. I had a call with her. I was like, I am just tired. I'm fed up. People that I called, you know the feeling when you called people, you believed in them. Some you worked with them, you had a personal relationship with them, and then they leave. When they leave, sometimes I didn't know how to deal with people leaving. But right now, I'm in a better position. I know it's life. When you're building, expect people to come and go. Initially, it was hard for me because I never experienced something like that. We never built something of this magnitude. So when people were leaving, I was just there crucifying myself. Is it me? Is it that maybe this thing is a failure? Is it that maybe this thing is useless? We're wasting our time? What's happening? But these guys, Horata would tell me, no, Lesego, these things take time, you know. It takes time. These people don't see the vision. Um, things don't just happen right away. It takes time. So my strength came from people like her, people like him, people like her, people like her. And I remember the other time, let's go look at balance. I'd send an email and she would tell me, you know what, sometimes you need a break. You don't have to leave, just a break. And I thought she didn't understand the pain I was in. But it's because she saw the bigger picture, you know. She saw beyond these stormy days, and she believed in this whole vision. Yeah, so all in all, I'll say this is GYP. We built it like that. It was built from just passion. It was built from compromise. It was built from a vision that's shared among young people, believing that in them they have the leadership to bring the change they want. You know, we've seen the projects he had. Even him, there was a time he had a beautiful team, beautiful project, and we
Comrade Sheeter.
yeah. But we learned. You know what I love? We learned. It made us better. It made us to grow. I always say I credit to GYP right now. Wherever I'm going from here, I'll always look back and say this thing made me, because it taught me now the pragmatic side of things. There's the theory of leadership where we speak nice words. Leadership is about service, this, that. And you're in the field now, you meet real people, not theory. Real people, you have to apply that. And sometimes you have to apply beyond the principles in theory. You have to put yourself in the situation. And this organization has made me a better person, and I will always have a special heart, a special place in my heart for it. I will always look at it and be like, this was so beautiful. Last year around February, I think February 15th, eh? So there was this opportunity that came from United Nations. They shared with young people all over the world. They want solutions for climate change. So they wanted NGOs, they wanted youth, they wanted individuals to come with solutions for that in 4 categories. I think we shared even this in the group, right?
I remember.
Yeah. Unfortunately, just as they mentioned, one of us na activity, there was no that thing. Also, Lerona, we had other responsibilities, so maybe we couldn't commit as a team to that. So at that time, even though Lena didn't have, I just committed time and put in a project and submitted it, you know, while still a member in GYP. Right. So I didn't think it will succeed like that. And then around June, I was told, you know, your project has made it. And I even went to Italy, called to pitch it. It won, and currently I have to implement it. It's a GYP award. You understand? I won it, but it's an award that you guys can walk out there and tell people that we won an award within 12 months of our existence. Yeah. So that's another thing that I felt it's important to share with you. Even as you'll be applying for grants, it's important to tell whatever international organizations you're applying to that we have experience with these things. We've already acquired funds before, and for that reason, this is why we are applying for more funds so that we expand our projects and initiatives. So that's where we are, and as I'm standing here, that project has started this month. As I'm talking to you, I'm doing the research or the pilot study of it. Still, I have to do it under you guys, because when I applied for it, I was a GYP member. Yeah. So I have to do it under GYP. I'll be inviting you guys from time to time, telling you even my progress, that this is what's happening. It's under innovation, but still I believe it's an important milestone for GYP as an organization. Yeah. So you can see that for that we have done so much as an organization since our foundation. So I don't know if I left anything out. Thank you.
What ministry you pick all the documents or print out and also
The NYC, remember when they called us about only to find its redaction.
Yo, when my sec called me, bruh.
even my sec did
We regret.
Why didn't you say it in the call?
Send an email.
It's wasting resources, eh? Yeah. Even them, those envelopes, just
It's a lot of paper.
Or you gonna pagamela or what rejection. You have to send to an email.
Postal system it's not as efficient.
It's not.
Like no one has a post box anymore.
Even if they do, they don't even check it on a regular basis because
I take it
everything is digital. Exactly. So, yeah, but government they'll never help us. Understand? We don't know, but putting out of roads like government unless you're a business or providing them with some service. When it comes to, I feel like Botswana, they don't really take NGOs that
Serious, yeah.
They don't.
But
Unlike the Americans.
abroad because they take the Germans because they make a difference and they impact people. But even us, we can do that. We can try as much as we can. Eventually, and we try to reach out. Like there's someone government experience in that field. How do we structure things so that we win awards?
Yeah.
What really, I think for Botswana, we once had this conversation about Botswana. The only way for them to take you seriously is when you gain recognition.
Outside, yeah.
That's when they start saying, oh, GIP,
Yeah.
because they saw you from up
Yeah.
Litulane go Miami.
Absolutely.
Go Botswana.
there.
Yeah.
Aha, moral.
Vision that you guys are trying to do is not enough. To, like you said, speaking is not enough. So it's important to put in the work. It's important to do the ground. Like Lesoro said, like leadership is not just standing before people. It's doing the groundwork. It's going the extra mile where no one wants to go, no one wants to venture in. So I feel like going forward in terms of how we deal with people, we didn't ask you to be here in terms of like you being recruited. You applied or you responded to an ad or nothing. So like that was one of the things in terms of the people we were working with previously, where I would get so frustrated with no, Nike busy, or no, I'm traveling, I'm going to what I'm not in the country. Like, but this is not my business. What was your business? What is like my concern here is that I asked you to do 1, 2, 3. What is part of your
What you agree?
your role, what you applied to do, you know? So you telling me that you cannot do 1, 2, 3 because you're out of the country or you only saw my message now in the evening is none of my business. So I feel like in terms of prioritizing, I think not having time, like what I had mentioned, all of us are busy people, you know. So what is important is that you took the commitment to be here today. And I'm also like extending this to everyone else who's here with me, that you took the commitment to be here today, to continue to be part of GYB, considering like all that we've been through. You still want to be here. That is a commitment you have made. So you should honor that. You are the one that is responsible for ensuring that your schedule allows for you to fulfill your commitment to this organization. So yeah, in terms of like going forward, I do not want to hear or now I'm not in the country, now I'm very busy, now I've been traveling, you know, as well as like how we're going to be dealing with new volunteers as well. Don't allow such talk, don't allow such conversations. If someone says that to you, just look at the Anatani and move forward with someone who's willing to do the work. Because there's always, and that's another thing that I've learned as well, like through GYB, that there's always going to be someone who wants to do something that someone else doesn't want to do. You know? So yeah, moving forward, that is like the spirit that I want to work with moving forward. So yeah, and it's also like one thing that I want to talk about in terms of branding, because that was one of our biggest problems as GYP. The issue of branding. That's why I feel like it should be like part of the administrative effort. That like branding is more than us having T-shirts, it's more than us having a logo, badges, Facebook page. It's more than that. It's the image that we're trying to put out there. So I feel like going forward, having an administrative department that should be more intentional about the image in which we are trying to portray. That must be consistent with the image in which that we are trying to show out there to the world, in terms of like not just nationally but internationally as well. because like we are thinking as our name speaks, we are a global organization, you know. So yeah, I think we've gone over the admin. That's going to be the first department again. Then the finance, and then I also wanted there to be like a projects department that wholly deals with our projects, whereby I kind of previously we had a number of ministries, and for this um, year, our activities should be like litter picking and tree planting. Although if anyone wants to include any other activities, it's other propose any other activities, you're welcome to do so. Just something that is manageable, that can take a day to do, that can also result in very high impact. You know, like to say, this is what we did today, and under our ministry of what, this was the goal. You know, so yeah, good things to keep engagement going, not for an entire 4 months. There's nothing within
9
the
months. Last time
organization.
we posted, I checked on LinkedIn. It was 9 months ago.
Not only like on our pages, but also
We are
within
just
the
pregnant.
organization.
Yeah.
Nothing is
Yeah.
going
We are
on.
We are
pregnant.
pregnant.
9 months. What to do?
So yeah, I think that is an important thing to do within projects department. Also under project, as a little.
Maternity leave.
Presidential jokes.
Anyway, you sorry.
What is I going to say? Oh yeah, under also projects as well. I think that these individual projects can also have activities within them that can also increase traction within our social media pages. For example, my project here, Umba Mentorship, since it deals with academic excellence and helping like the yeah
Girls.
helping young girls, if we can do like a book drive, you know, we can do what is this an activity where we are doing, which is something I talked to with this
Where we build
by-
libraries.
yeah, like miniature libraries and help, you know. So that can also be an activity which constantly we are talking about on our social media. Or like how we did last year with the winter drive, the clothes drive, where we're donating. So those kind of things can be part of like our activities. Absolutely. And I also agree with what Ndula said about like her, what is this? Her roles um, lack specificity in terms of like what it is exactly that she has to do. So I believe that this is just a framework, like a template. You guys can add on like in terms of like her roles as well. Under projects management, like she'll be overseeing this, but like as well as any other department, will also have its own volunteers. She'll be facilitating and supervising DYP projects. For example, if we say we're going to have 2 projects, she'll be facilitating how they are managed, what is going on, like what is the progress that they're making, what do they need, you know, how can we make sure that if they've hit a roadblock, how can we overcome it, you know, things like that. So she'll also be responsible for measuring, documenting, and reporting on impact. But this will also be assisted by the people who will be leading on these projects, whereby they will be documenting it, the whole thing. They'll be reporting to, sharing these reports with them, so that she can say, share them also with, what is this? To create a Google document where we can go back and say, okay, so in terms of like the archives of the projects which we've done, and these are the projects. In terms of our community engagement thus far, this is what we have achieved. As well as when we're talking or when we're posting our things on social media, this is what we talk about in terms of the impact which we're making in our community. So yeah, that will be her responsibility. She will basically be monitoring how this reports are made. And also in terms of like impact, I think that is like one of the biggest things we need to engage in terms of going forward with our projects. How do we judge impact? What are we doing? What do we want to achieve based off of these projects? And so I think that is important for us as a whole to create a metric in terms of like how we judging impact. For example, this also extends to our activities. If our activities is to be like litter picking, how do we judge the metric for the impact we should make through litter picking? Is it the number of plastic bags that we picked up, or is it what can we say? The area which we have covered in terms of litter picking, you know. So yeah, I think every project deserves its own metric system to say this is the impact which we are driving for. Yeah, and then reviews and publishing quarterly timelines and reports. This also should be doing it hand in hand with the project managers or coordinators of the individual projects that will be handling. For example, Umba mentorship. This is the timeline for the year 2024 for my project quarterly. In the next 4 months, this is what I want to do. I'll be sharing that with Mbulamo to say, this is what I want to do for the next 4 months. And then based off of that, she's like the one who'll be supervising whether or not I have achieved this, the goal that I've set or the timeline that I've set for my project. If I haven't, like, what is the problem? How can I help you? How can I assist? How can we move forward? So yeah, and based off of also that, for that timeline, also like that'll also help in writing a report based off of that timeline. So yeah, and also assisting and writing proposals for meeting with future partners, collaborations, grants, yeah, the like. Yeah, I think that is the roles which I think that would be appropriate for
The last one you say?
Huh?
The last one?
Oh, writing and assisting in writing proposals, like whereby which was something that you talked about with your when you explained to me how your supervisor was helping you with writing your proposal or project presentation. So
Which one
presentation
for the YFOC?
I really love the way she
Oh.
was
Yeah.
assisting me. So I think that is something that you can share with Mbulamo, or yeah, going forward in terms of like how projects, in terms of writing proposals,
In terms of
doing
assisting
presentations.
people doing
Yeah, this is what a supervisor should
should
look
do.
for. This is what a project should look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think for projects that's.
Okay, when should I comment? When you are done after everything, or should I keep on commenting as we are done with ministry?
I think that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think that's it.
Oh, you
I'm
are
done.
done.
I'm done. We can now open. The floor is now open for questions and suggestions.
Okay, people power comment on the project thing before we go forward. when we discussed this thing with her, it was that our tenure is coming to an end. Now, when this thing was brought to me, I saw politics. I want to be clear. And so when she said, no, let's restructure and start having... So that she said, no, we are not trying to be a parliament.
It's an organization.
It's an organization. Let's be clear, comrades. What are we doing? Are we parliament or are we civil? So it was not clear for me, because now when I came in, I was foreseeing a parliament. But now I'm starting to understand where she was coming from. We are going to approach it with that parliament mentality. It's nice, it's fun, it's good, but probably not for now. We
Not
can't
sustainable.
It's not sustainable. We can't build
Business.
we can't build an organization. And then you find out you are taking a project that does not necessarily speak to the organization, especially at that time. Therefore, I'm thinking, for projects, let's have a matrix that will say, okay, fine, for a project in this organization to be approved to be done, it has to satisfy 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then these are the kind of projects that we are dealing with. Like she's saying, we cannot be doing 10 projects and so high working on it. Because now when I started, holistic.
Oh, SDG goals.
Sustainable goals.
The sustainable goals. I think we can pick some.
Hey,
For
from
now,
there.
let's focus on these these goals. So
Okay.
if we are saying a project in GYP should satisfy at least one of these.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think that we should have hours, like something that follows the template from the saying SDG goals.
Yeah.
But we have our own SDG
Kind of
Objectives, goals.
Yeah.
national, because now under climate action,
You know, you're passionate about this.
More projects.
Yeah.
Also this year, one of you has to apply for Y4C because it's coming again. So every year it's coming. So we need to rotate to get those monies.
In dollars.
I think it has to be connection, because here we're talking about like what approaches will be implemented in terms of climate action,
Yeah.
from energy, from the agriculture, from, because it's very broad. So I think climate action is appropriate in that. So it's just going to be education.
Something to do with
Education
women,
something.
gender,
Gender, yes.
you know.
About
because
education and innovation.
What education and innovation.
it's
Because
important.
because I'm thinking of the first thing I challenged in the education space was that the approach we used to teach literally it does not develop students, it gives them information.
Feeding.
It's feeding. It doesn't. Yeah. So it is not growing people. It's just presenting.
It doesn't
I think
explore
it's
what
because
they
of,
do.
of the system that we live in, whereby like opportunities, well, because like it's like a race, you know, like whereby you train a runner to say, okay, like this is the race in which you're running in, and these are like the only opportunities that are available to you. You can't branch out. You can't or one. But then when I feel like I noticed when I came to varsity that the world is much bigger than we were taught in Nathan
In all the 12 years of learning.
yeah, by whereby we were supposed to prioritize science subjects and maths and but it's education is much more.
It doesn't feel a lot smarter when
It's
you are not doing
diverse.
science
You see?
guys.
So I feel
Even
like
now.
The moment you realize that you will not listen to anyone telling you that
because now you are preparing
this is
us.
where you belong.
You're preparing us to join the workforce. So I feel like education should be more than just you saying that we're preparing you to join the workforce, and where there's only like a limited number of opportunities. within that
Exactly.
workforce. Like it doesn't. It's not designed to even absorb everyone. So I feel like that's you're very right. It shouldn't just be education. It should be education and innovation. Say that we're taking a different approach with it.
So we say educational development and innovation, or education and innovation.
I don't know. What is there?
Education. Okay, you want us to put it in terms of races, or you can just give it a word.
Just
Give it a word.
Okay.
I think education and innovation.
Education and innovation. I think that's okay.
I think it's okay. Because also the innovation, not only that are we taking a different approach to education, but as well as I feel like we live in a very digital and technological world. So we're also adopting that aspect as well.
The climate one, I think maybe we can combine it with conservation. This one of plants, animals, there, you know,
Climate action and conservation.
and conservation, yeah. So that one day, we try to see not for tourism.
We can do both.
Hey.
We can do both.
Why limit?
That's why I'm saying that I feel like in this new year or going forward, I feel like it's very important for us to engage with each other